Here's what I always do. I always make a final prediction in this video, and then I change it right before the actual award is presented because I go off how it's trending during the award ceremony. But this is my final prediction. You can lock this in. So if I'm wrong, you can come back to this video and tell me I'm wrong. It'd also get the views up, so that'd be great. Okay, final prediction time. We've been building up to this all season. I have my reaction coming Sunday. I can't wait for that. But it's time for me to tell you what I believe will win each award, what I believe should win each award. That's what we do every year. I'm not going back now. If you're here and you want to support this video, it's the typical YouTuber spiel. You can like it, you can drop a comment, you can watch it all the way through, but who would want to do that? Especially with me.
Look at it! It's ugly, isn't it?
I'm so nervous, man. This is one of the most difficult to predict Oscars I've ever seen. I can guarantee you I'm going to be wrong about a lot of things, but I'm going to be passionate, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here for passion. You can ask my wife. Bingo!
You are disgusting. You'll never find love.
Let's start with visual effects and not spend a lot of time on it because it's going to Avatar: The Way of Water. Is there anything to discuss or debate, even if it didn't go and win a ridiculous amount of VFX awards before this very video? I would still say Avatar: The Way of Water, but it did. So that's the one that should win. That's the one that will win. Is that it? Okay. Sound. This one's, I guess, a little bit tougher, even though I am very convinced at this point that it's going to go to Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is going to take this award home. It may be the only award that Top Gun Maverick takes home, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that because I genuinely believe it's one of the best movies of the year. It may or may not be my favorite movie of the year. If you've seen this channel, you know that. What should win sound? I'm also going Top Gun Maverick. Now, there's an argument to be made about All Quiet on the Western Front, which is brilliantly put together from a sound standpoint. And the Batman, I mean, honestly, every movie in this category deserves to be in this category. Even Elvis, but I'm going to say Top Gun Maverick because you watch those scenes where the jets are in the air, and it's just so quick. I take this off. All right, let's get the short films out of the way. I'll be flat honest with you. I haven't watched most of these. I understand they're short. Some of them are easily accessible, and I need to watch them. But frankly, with the flood and the baby, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. No excuses, Austin. So when I make these predictions, just know I have no clue what I'm talking about. But let's do it anyway. Best Animated Short. I think the title, The Boy, the Mole, and the Fox and the Horse, is awesome. It has the best odds on Gold Derby, but My Year of Dicks is such a cool name, I have to go with My Year of Dicks. Because why not? Best Documentary Short, The Elephant Whisperers. That's a really cool name, but Stranger at the Gate, that picture of that man looking at me right there, it looks pretty interesting. I'm going to go that's the one. I have no clue what I'm talking about. Best Live Action Short, An Irish Goodbye. I love anything that takes place in Ireland. I don't know if this takes place. That's An Irish Goodbye.
Move along. Move along.
Production Design. I know a little more about this one. For most of award season, it has been trending towards Babylon winning production design. Now, there is that part of me that wants to go Elvis, because if Butler doesn't end up winning Best Actor, is Elvis going to get shut out in this ceremony when it has gotten a pretty good amount of nominations? It feels like a movie that a lot of people thoroughly enjoy. Best Actor in Hair and Makeup, I feel like that either will go hand in hand or will not go hand in hand this year. But say it doesn't get either one, will Elvis really go winless? Will Babylon get an Oscar and Elvis not get an Oscar? I still think, because it's been the front runner for so long, I think Babylon has the best chance to win production design, and I think Babylon will win production design. Who do I think should win in this category? It's actually really close for me between All Quiet and Babylon, but even though it wasn't my favorite movie, I genuinely believe the production design in Babylon was absolutely outstanding, especially when you're taking place on movie sets and whatnot. So should win, will win, both for Babylon. Best Original Song. I have seen some backlash, as there always is in every single category, every year. You know what? We'll talk about that when we get to Best Picture. But Not To. I have been on the Not To train for so long. Now, I love the fact that This Is a Life got nominated here because I was a massive fan of that song. Nobody thought it would get, well, I'm sure there were people, but a lot of people were not thinking it would get nominated. It did get nominated. I was extremely happy for that, but Not To has been that song, and I think RRR, it deserves to be represented by a victory at the Oscars. Come on, baby. It should win. It will win. And aren't they performing this at the Oscars this year? In my reaction video, you might see me dancing to Not To. Now, will it be good? No. But I'll do it. Daggone it. Score! God, Babylon. I thought for sure Babylon would be the front runner. Again, not my favorite movie out of all of these movies nominated, but you listen to that score. Look at the production design. Amazing. You listen to that score. It is outstanding. Hurwitz, he is a beloved, what's the composer? How did I forget that? And as good as Everything Everywhere and Banshees and The Fabelmans are, I mean, you have John Williams in there. How is he not in the conversation? Well, I don't think he is in the conversation. I think it's between Justin Hurwitz and Volker Bertelmann for All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a very memorable score. I take nothing away from it. I do think there were a couple of moments in there that went a little too hard. If you said what the kid, it goes hard, man. But obviously one of my favorite movies of the year. Babylon is the movie that I believe deserves to win this category. Justin Hurwitz should win another Oscar. But part of me believes, because it hasn't been the far and away front runner throughout the year like I thought it would, right? And these award ceremonies, they will come and they will go, and Babylon will win one, and then All Quiet on the Western Front comes out of nowhere and wins the BAFTA. And I'm like, oh, is it because it was nominated so many times, or does it actually have an opportunity to kind of play the underdog role here and take this award? And again, you nominate All Quiet on the Western Front that many times. So, because of that, and because I have Babylon winning production design, I think All Quiet on the Western Front wins the award. I just feel like that's the kind of award that there could be a major upset in. There's not a runaway favorite. There should be. But I did love the score for All Quiet. Am I making the right decision? I thought Babylon would win at Critics' Choice. Tar won. Why did Tar win? And then at BAFTA, All Quiet won. Babylon should win. All Quiet on the Western Front will win. I don't have a lot of confidence here, but I'm just going with the movie that got nominated for Best Picture. Makeup and Hairstyling, this is surprisingly one of the most difficult awards to predict, because if I predict Elvis to win this category, then I should predict Austin Butler to win Best Actor, but I don't know if I'm going to do that, so what do I do? Help. So the Makeup Guild went for The Whale, but the history behind them predicting it in that specific category is not great. Elvis got Critics' Choice, it got BAFTA, it felt like it was winning the awards necessary to take this home, but again, it all comes down to, I believe in my heart of hearts that most of the time, the actor or actress winner, where that movie is nominated in Makeup and Hairstyling, those two are almost always associated. So how do I pick Elvis with by far the best odds to win this category? How do I pick it to win and not pick Austin Butler? Do I do Makeup and Hairstyling for Elvis and then pick Brendan Fraser to win in The Well? That just goes against all that I believe in. That goes against history. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I feel right by doing that. But I know it's going to be one or the other. I know it's going to be The Well and Fraser. I know it's going to be Butler and Elvis. I mean, what'd I say? I'm going to choose the upset. Who do I think should win The Well? Who do I think will win The Well? I'm going with the upset. This is stupid. This is so stupid. I played it safe last year, and that bit me in the butt. This year, I'm going outlandish because I'm trying to make up for what I did last year, and that's so far bit me in the butt. And how do I... God... Film editing. I'm not going to say this is solely because of the BAFTA, because Everything Everywhere All at Once has been getting hyped up a bit more than editing. But at the beginning, if you remember, Top Gun Maverick was that movie. I'm like, it's going to get sound, it's going to get editing, it's going to take home 2 Oscars, and Austin's going to be happy. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think the editing is great, but for some reason, it's getting a lot of these technical looks and awards when I think maybe other movies are just a bit stronger. And I think that's going to be the case. And the BAFTA sold me, especially when you look at how snubbed across the board Everything Everywhere All at Once was. They didn't really give that movie anything but editing. And because of that, that leads me to think that it is a lock in this category. Which, again, is crazy because I thought Top Gun should at least give it some competition. Everything Everywhere All at Once will win. I still think Top Gun Maverick should win, but I do believe it's a good competition. It's a healthy competition between those top 2 movies. Costume design, I take back what I said earlier. I completely forgot that Elvis was almost a shoo-in for costume design. It's done well, right? Not overwhelmingly well, but it's done well with the precursor awards. But all in all, I just don't see another movie that could give it competition here. Babylon has not really won any of the costume design awards. Everything Everywhere, if it doesn't win one of the smaller categories, this will be it. Black Panther Wakanda Forever maybe has the second best chance because this could be the one place that it does take home the award. But Elvis, it's done well. I think the costumes are great. They're very well. They go with the time period, and Elvis has to win something. It'll probably win more than one, but I'm going to say it wins this one. Cinematography. All Quiet on the Western Front. It's got to win one, right? It has to win one. And I have it winning more than one, but it got so many nominations. Why not just throw it in there for a category that is fairly weak this year? I think All Quiet deserves to be there. I think Tar's cinematography is really good. Bardo, it's different, but I would have put a lot of movies in there over Empire of Light, over Elvis, over Bardo. I still can't believe Top Gun, after doing so well early on, wasn't in this category. I can't believe The Batman isn't in this category. I look at some of these other prestigious films. Heck, Banshees of Inisherin I would have put in this category, but it being a weak category this year and All Quiet with so many Oscar nominations and the fact that it's one of the only movies that I believe should be in there, I'm going to give it the victory. I think it should take home the victory. I think it's some of the best cinematography of 2022. Screenplay, at one point, this was a competition. At one point, I was actually leaning Banshees. If I would have done Oscar predictions or early Oscar winner predictions a month ago, I would have said The Banshees of Inisherin is going to win this award because it has to win something, right? Well, at this point, I don't really have it winning anything, even when it comes to another category that we'll talk about. But The Banshees of Inisherin is just being overlooked this year. I think the strong, overwhelming love for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and the fact that it's done so well. Yes, Banshees won the Golden Globe, Banshees won the BAFTA. I think that is going to make people look at this and say, oh, Austin, it's closer than you say, because Everything Everywhere took the other major awards, took WGA, but Martin McDonagh wasn't nominated for WGA. But I look at a movie like The Banshees of Inisherin, and I look at the BAFTAs, who just didn't really, for some reason, respond to Everything Everywhere All at Once. So that was fairly obvious that Banshees was going to win that award. And I don't look at that as the main precursor just because the fact that Everything Everywhere was just basically booted in that award ceremony. And that's not been the case everywhere else. So I think this is a less of a competition, we'll say that, than a lot of people believe. And I don't think Banshees, they have a chance, a small chance, but I don't think Banshees is going to do well at all this Oscar ceremony. Like, I loved the film. It was in my top 10 of last year. But the love for Everything Everywhere. So I think it takes it. I guess I still prefer the script for The Banshees of Inisherin. Overall, Everything Everywhere, but I'll go Banshees for my personal taste. Adapted Screenplay. Not So Fast, Women Talking, the overwhelming favorite earlier in the year. This was a movie that I thought was a shoo-in, and I thought it would have different competition, right? When I first saw She Said, I'm like, well, I didn't love the movie, but I think the screenplay will get a nomination. I had this movie. But here, you have a very different competition from what I expected. Here, it's Women Talking versus All Quiet on the Western Front. The other three movies, frankly, don't have much of a shot. I love Top Gun. I don't know if I would have nominated it for this category. Still love Top Gun, but I don't know if it deserved it. Women Talking has WGA, I believe it's like USC Scripter, and then Critics' Choice. All Quiet on the Western Front, it did overwhelmingly well at the BAFTA, so it won that award there, but Women Talking, it wasn't nominated for the BAFTA. So have they really met each other like they are meeting here at the Oscars? And, for the most part, Women Talking has taken home that award, but it's just weird for me going all in on Women Talking when All Quiet on the Western Front is probably the second most likely movie to win Best Picture, and it's firmly in that conversation, and it got so many award nominations, and Women Talking, it kind of slid in for Best Picture, but if we're being honest with ourselves, it was like 9 or 10, or maybe 8, but it's one of those movies that doesn't have a shot with Best Picture, and it didn't get any other nominations or notable nominations beyond Best Picture and Adapted Screenplay. So I look at this movie and I look at how well it's done leading up to the BAFTA, the fact that the BAFTA went to All Quiet, the fact that has a little bit more momentum. And you know me, I'm normally going with momentum. That being said, I think of Women Talking. I think of the screenplay. I think of All Quiet on the Western Front. I think of the technical elements. I think of how beautiful the story is. I think of the fact that it is based off of a book. It's also, a remake of an older film, technically, even though it strays in a different direction. That being said, that may rub some people the wrong way that love that original movie. That may rub some people the wrong way that love the original book and don't like the direction that it goes in. So all of these factors considered, and I think people will be looking at Women Talking. I mean, they could obviously just go with the movie that they like more. And that would probably be All Quiet on the Western Front. But if you're thinking screenplay when voting for screenplay, I don't know how they go against Women Talking. And I believe the screenplay personally is a little stronger. So I'm going should win, will win for Women Talking. But don't ask me again because I don't feel good about it. International feature film. Is Argentina 1985 going to come out of nowhere and win again? No, it's not. This is All Quiet on the Western Front's award to lose. And frankly, I think it's a one-horse race. I think Argentina 1985 could be that great underdog story, but the odds of it winning are very slim. The fact that All Quiet got so many nominations across the board, that is our victor, and that should be our victor. It's one of the best movies of the year. And I feel the same way about Navalny for Best Documentary Feature. This has been the front runner throughout most of the year, and I actually really enjoy some of these movies. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed genuinely was one of my favorite documentaries of last year. Fire of Love was great. I just don't know if that's the kind of movie that wins a documentary award at the Oscars. Navalny has that push behind it. It has continued to be the front runner, and we could see an upset here. We often do in the documentary category, but that's more for the nominations, less for the actual winner. That is my choice on who will win. I think on who should win, I'm going to go All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I really enjoyed that movie. Animated feature, we have a lot of great contenders here. I think 3 that I'm just a massive fan of. You know what? I'll say 4. I really loved The Sea Beast. Turning Red, it was fine. It is what it is. The Sea Beast was a genuinely underrated great movie. You guys know I wanted that to be nominated. Glad it was. Puss in Boots, Marcel the Shell, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. For a long time, del Toro's Pinocchio was the overwhelming favorite to win this award. But I won't lie. The resurrection of the love, and I'm not even going to say resurrection, it remained so consistent at the box office. Man, it did so well. And it was nice to see a movie like this do so well, and I loved it, and I watched it again, and I loved it even more the second time. So that's nipping on the heels of del Toro's Pinocchio. So I'm not going to completely rule that out. That being said, and Marcel's a great movie as well, that being said, Pinocchio has been the overwhelming favorite. It really hasn't lost any of the major awards. It's done so well throughout these competitions, and I'm going to say it takes it home. I'm going to say it deserves it, but ever so slightly above Puss in Boots and Marcel. Supporting actress, this one is almost impossible to predict because how do I go with the person who did not win for SAG, who did not win for BAFTA? Yes, she got Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but is that really warranting me to ride the Angela Bassett wave that really kind of hit a wall about a month ago, right? It was a wave. We're like, oh, Bassett's going to win, right? She didn't win a lot of the smaller critics awards, but then she wins Critics' Choice, which I had a hand in, and I loved Angela Bassett's performance, even though I may or may not have voted for Carrie Condon. I don't remember at this point. She gets the Golden Globe, but the 2 biggest deals when it comes to Best Supporting Actress or any of these actor categories is SAG and is BAFTA. Carrie Condon won the BAFTA. Jamie Lee Curtis won the SAG, which shocked me, to be honest with you. And because of that, it is a 3-horse race. Hong Chow with The Whale, sorry, you did wonderful, you don't have a shot. Stephanie Hsu, God, it hurts. It hurts that I can't predict her to win. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now. After sitting and thinking about this category, and I may have even shifted my beliefs, I think Stephanie Hsu is the best of the bunch. I think she's outstanding. I hate that she doesn't have a chance. She is the person that I believe should win. But who will win? Do I really go against the winner of the SAG or the BAFTA? This would have helped if one of them would have won both of those. Then it would have made them the front runner. Gold Derby still has Angela Bassett as the front runner, and I'm sitting back going, part of me doesn't see how you could have her as the front runner, but I do also see the fact that she's won, I guess, more total awards that matter, but do they matter as much as the SAG or the BAFTA? And I think the answer to that is simply no. I think of Sylvester Stallone a couple of years ago when he won the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice, and I don't know if he was actually nominated for the SAG or the BAFTA because they're always weird with their nominations and their wins, but I know he did not win SAG or BAFTA. And obviously he went on to lose the Oscar, an Oscar in which I believe he should have won. I thought he was outstanding in that movie. But Angela Bassett has a lot going against her beyond the few awards that she has won to this point. You have the fact that she's in a Marvel movie. You have the fact that it's Black Panther. You have the fact that she has been there and done that in Hollywood, but this also feels like it's her time to take home that Oscar. And she has been a staple in this industry for so long. And looking at the history of people winning Golden Globes and Critics' Choice and not winning SAG, it's very rare that someone can do what she has done. But then we look at the other side of it, and Condon, even though she's the face of the Banshees of Inisherin, and she is the real front runner for this award, she's the one that has the real shot at this award. It just does, for me, the wave, it just doesn't feel like it's in her favor. Now, maybe she wins this because people are thinking, well, Banshees has to win. It has to win something. It can't go winless at this ceremony. So let's go for Carrie Condon. I think she was one of the best parts of the movie. She is amazing in this film. But Jamie Lee Curtis, she's just sitting back there with their arms crossed like, I was in the most popular movie of the year. I'm in the front runner for Best Picture. I'm in the movie that everybody has been loving for oh so long. And I am the performance in this category over Stephanie Hsu that people are talking about.
5 minutes later.
Jamie Lee Curtis is she's riding that wave, folks. And it looks like a fun one to be on. I also look at that performance, and personally, I look at it as maybe the weakest of the nominees of that movie, right? She's not as good as Michelle Yeoh. She's not as good as Ke Huy Quan. And people will obviously argue this because she's won over Stephanie Hsu, but I don't think she's as good as Stephanie Hsu. Between Jamie Lee Curtis and Angela Bassett, everything's going against Angela Bassett winning this. But again, Jamie Lee Curtis came out of nowhere to win the SAG. Nowhere. She is also a staple in Hollywood. So you have two Hollywood staples, one for a Marvel movie, one for the front runner for Best Picture. I would be stupid. I would be dumb to go against that. And yesterday, I went against it anyway. This is actually me re-recording. I'm going back to Jamie Lee Curtis. I just don't feel right about choosing Angela Bassett. My heart kind of wants me to. Well, my heart wants Stephanie Hsu, but my heart wants me to go with Angela Bassett here. I'm going with the movie that has the momentum. I'm going with Jamie Lee Curtis. Was I right in re-recording this? Time will tell. Actor in a supporting role. Eeny, meeny, miny, Ke Huy Quan. He's going to take it home. It's far and away the best performance of that category, even though I think all of these nominees are really good. Would I put Judd Hirsch in there over Paul Dano? No. Why is Judd Hirsch in there? Maybe it's because he is truly a supporting, like Paul Dano was a big focus of the Fabelmans. But again, Paul Dano should have been in there. That's not what this is for. This is for Ke Huy Quan. He's going to win. He should win. He will win. He may win. Actress in a leading role. I have an entire video devoted to this discussion. Same thing with actors. So I will actually keep these two categories very brief because I've already went on my 10-minute and 11-minute monologues about these two topics. I will just say here's where I'm at. I'm feeling a little less confident in actor than I was because of this daggone makeup category. They are split down the middle on prior wins when you look at SAG, Golden Globe, BAFTA, Critics' Choice. What matters? What doesn't matter? Who's going to win? Who's got the momentum? Brendan Fraser has the current momentum. SAG happened after the BAFTA. I do think voters look at momentum as much as you want to say, they're not going to look at momentum. They're going to look at momentum. They absolutely are. They're going to tell you they're not going to until they're an anonymous voter, and then they're going to tell the reporter, they're going to say, listen, of course I looked at momentum because nobody knows who I am. I'm anonymous. Fraser has it. I think that's why Fraser wins actor. But again, my confidence level's just, it's not high at all. I'm like 52-48 on Brendan Fraser, folks, because of that daggone makeup category. If Elvis wins makeup and if Fraser wins The Whale, I'm not going to say it's the most rare thing we've ever seen, but it doesn't happen very often. I'm going to be devastated inside if I get one of those wrong and the other one right. Although, if I get both wrong, I will probably just disappear from existence. So I'm sticking with Fraser. When it comes to actress, again, we have two powerhouses in this category. And again, I'm going off of momentum. And I think that's dumb on my part. But how do I not at this point, right? With the love for Everything Everywhere. So I'm going against that love for supporting actress, and I'm going for that love for actress. I'm going against it with Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm going towards it with Michelle Yeoh. I'm so inconsistent. I'm so inconsistent in my predictions and what I believe, but I'm sticking with it, man. I'm sticking with Michelle Yeoh. Again, almost split down the middle. Clearly, Blanchett has a little bit more going for her in terms of award wins, but the SAG is important for momentum, and that Golden Globe being split between them, that doesn't help things. But for me, it is the fact that Everything Everywhere, and she is, Ke Kwan obviously was an amazing performance, but she's kind of the face of this movie. You look at Everything Everywhere, the performance that sold you the most, and it means so much to people, for me, was Michelle Yeoh, and Tar just not being that favorite across the board and not really getting the love that I think it's deserved other than Blanchett. But Blanchett's momentum kind of stopped. Michelle Yeoh now has the momentum, and I think that's going to serve her well. So, Brendan Fraser, Michelle Yeoh.
Are you sure about that?
Finally, Best Director, Best Picture. We'll lump these two together as well because, frankly, I think it's being made more of a conversation than it should be at this point. For a long time, people were trying to say, well, Steven Spielberg's going to be the guy for Best Director, and The Fabelmans just kind of went, pfft. I don't think The Fabelmans is taking home one award at this ceremony. I think it's going to go winless. Now, the last time I looked, Steven Spielberg had pretty good odds on Gold Derby. I mean, they're not great, but they're solid compared to what I expected. Martin McDonagh, I think he would be the only other one with a chance there. Todd Field and Ruben Ostlund, they're not going to win. I don't think Triangle of Sadness is going to win anything. I don't think Tar is going to win anything other than Blanchett maybe winning that award. But it's not really a competition. It's the Daniels. It has been the Daniels. It will continue to be the Daniels across the board. Most of the major awards that they could win, they have won, and this movie is a force of nature. It has every ounce of momentum a movie has ever needed for Best Picture. I kid you not. There has never been a movie. There has been. But recently, in the last few years, there hasn't been a movie with an overwhelming sense of, well, that's gonna win Best Picture. And sometimes you can get the Best Director, Best Picture split. Steven Spielberg could come in and be that guy, and I think that's more likely than Everything Everywhere losing Best Picture. I think Spielberg winning Director could happen more so than All Quiet on the Western Front winning Best Picture. But people also want to give Banshees of Inisherin a chance for Best Picture, and I don't know if I see that. I think if there's a movie that comes in and takes Best Picture away from Everything Everywhere, it's going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. The sheer overwhelming amount of nominations, the love that it got at the BAFTAs, the love that we could kind of see it getting here if it takes home some of these smaller technical awards and somehow gets Screenplay over Women Talking. If it wins Screenplay over Women Talking, I'm going to sit back and say, okay, it has a better chance than expected, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, I mean, it won everything it needed to win. PGA, DGA, SAG, I could go down the line, and it's won that award. Writers Guild, I mean, it didn't win the BAFTA, but frankly, the BAFTA just didn't give Everything Everywhere All at Once barely any love, and one win in terms of wins. So I don't know if that's something, and especially the fact that it happened before SAG and it's not carrying as much weight as maybe it would have if it happened just a couple of days ago. And I've talked about momentum all through this video, and momentum, it's a big part of the puzzle. It's a big aspect of the conversation. I think this year is going to be the real test on what momentum does or does not do for a lot of these so-called favorites at this point. And people will still argue, well, Butler's still the favorite over Fraser, and I would argue it's the other way around, but we're going to see how much weight that carries this year. We're going to see if Michelle Yeoh and Brendan Fraser and Everything Everywhere and the Daniels, all of these front runners, because of what recently happened, can take that momentum and carry it to a victory. I don't know if that's going to be the case for everyone. I do have a good feeling I'll be wrong about one or two of these, But if I have to guarantee one of these major categories, I would say director and best picture are more of a lock than my picks for actor, actress, supporting actress. This one for me was a no-brainer. Also, if I had to choose a favorite, it's Top Gun Maverick, but you knew that already. You guys know me. So my confidence is wavering, but I've made my decisions. Did I really make decisions for the short film categories? No, but you guys can hold me to it. Whatever, man. Listen, I can't wait for Sunday. It's gonna be, what do the kids say, lit?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You're gonna see me jump off the couch. You're gonna see me lose my mind. You're gonna see a lot of things, a lot of variables in place here to stress me out, and that's all I need right now. I'm in an Airbnb. My wife's pregnant. All I need is more stress, right? That's all I need. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to support this video, again, dropping that like would be amazing, but leave your comments down below. How do you feel about my predictions? What are your final Oscar predictions for each category? And if you want to make one a different comment, man, that would help the algorithm. I'm talking too much. Thanks. I'll see you soon.